I'm Annabelle Daniel, the CEO of Women's Community Shelters, and welcome to our February newsletter. As you can see, we're entering a brave new digital world and we're trying some video for the first time. So welcome to our very first video newsletter, and I'm looking forward to sharing with you a whole bunch of new updates. We've already had a very busy start to 2019, so stay tuned. The first thing I really want to talk about today is a project that I am super excited about, and that is our Walk the Talk program. And we're running that with WCS Education Specialist Danielle Miller and Enlighten Education, of which she's the CEO. And what we do is we go into schools and we give kids a great intro to respectful relationships education and understanding gender inequality, bring them into the loop around some of the statistics with domestic and family violence. But then very importantly, what we do is we connect them with their local shelter so they can actually do something practical to help that shelter and to make a difference. And that's why we call this program Walk the Talk, because it's not just about learning, it's not just about symbolism, it's about doing something to make a difference as well as learning. And so we're rolling that out to 15 schools across New South Wales in our shelter communities, and that's going to reach in year one 2,000 students, and we're so excited about it. We've had the most extraordinary feedback already, which gets me incredibly emotional when I read it. It's just fantastic the way that these kids are getting involved in adopting their local shelter and that they want to make a practical difference. So we've got a heap of information about that, and please have a look in some links that are in the newsletter. One of the most amazing things about the WCS network is the incredible people who we get to serve on our local shelter boards. They're volunteers and they give enormously of their time, their treasure and their talent to help their local shelter succeed. They do things like organising events, they do fundraising, they do outreach into their local communities and give speeches at local community groups, and they concentrate really strongly on the governance of the shelter to make sure that everything's going really well. And we could not do this without them. Our incredible board members are the glue and the love and the giving that is the kindness that exists in the WCS network, and they're also incredibly skilled. Our Haven shelter in Greater Penrith area opened in April 2018, and they are on the exciting search for a few new board members, and we've got some details in the newsletter about that. So if you're a Greater Penrith local and would like to contribute on the Havens board, we've got the information about how you could do that. And the last thing I'm going to talk about today is a very exciting news that we were recipients of a PwC grant towards helping to end homelessness. And what that's going to do is support us to do really innovative things with what we call meanwhile use properties, which is properties that might be not currently being tenanted or used because they're actually going to be developed at some point in the future. But what we're looking to do is to actually use those properties in the short term to be able to provide housing for the women and children who are leaving our shelters, to be able to give them secure housing for a while after they leave. So this grant will really support us to do that, and we're super excited about being able to make more properties accessible for our shelter residents.